Hello everybody, my name is James. Welcome to Rising Potential. This is the Reign Series 2, Segment 2 Director's Commentary. With me today I'm joined by one of the voice actors from the show. He is the voice actor behind the TV guy, who we find out whose name is Frank, and it's funny because the voice actor is also named Frank. Frank Rosati.
It was so lazy.
Yeah, actually, I don't even know. I think I came to you. Yeah, I couldn't think of a name for the TV guy, and I'm just like, can I call? I mean, I don't know if it was really. I guess it was partially being lazy, but I don't know. He looks like a Frank, maybe because you voice act him, but I don't know. He really felt like a Frank to me.
Yeah, it was like you came up to me. You're just like, so what should we name him? I'm like, I don't know. That's your character to do. It's like, well, can we just use your name for right now? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Frank is a great name for the guy.
Yeah, and we just kept it. So.
Yeah. So Frank is his name. And in segment 2, we learn a lot of the other characters' names. And like in the credits, I do like slash, like so it's like TV guy / Frank, just in case people were confused. But yeah, TV guy, who was the guy with the fire in his helmet, his name is Frank. That's his real official name. The green guy's name is James. I guess it's also being lazy because my name is James and I voice act him. And then we find out that I don't know if I'm drawing a blank. Oh yeah, we find out the radio guy. His name is Mort, who's voiced by Andre Larson, and the guy who does the camera guy is voiced by Cam Cooney, also known as Cameron. So we get a bunch of new, or I guess old characters from Series 1, but we get to learn more about them and we get to know what their actual names are instead of just referring them to the camera guy and the radio guy. I think for me, it was kind of confusing, even though I make the series and I know all the characters. I thought it was kind of like, I should really, give these people names. So we find out that they have names. I don't know, like TV guys, just kind of like, But as we learn more about Frank's character in the show, he evolves more, and as the later segments progress, he gets a lot more out there. And
5 and 6 were my favorite episodes.
5 and 6. I'm currently making 5, and it's a lot of fun. Frank is very
don't give away too much.
He's very loud, so I can't wait to put it together, and I cannot wait to put segment 6 together because there's a certain scene in segment 6 that involves a really epic part that I'm looking forward to putting together.
Yep.
So,
keep it hush-hush, though. We don't want to give away too much.
Yeah, don't want to give away too much. I don't know how I'm going to edit it. I have an idea, but I'll tackle that when I get there. So, a lot of cool things are coming up. Like, Series 2, it progresses as it goes on. Like, Segment 1, Segment 2 are, I guess, Segment 1's just reintroducing everybody, so it's kind of like how Series 1 was. It's kind of relaxing, calm, but there are a few little jumpy parts to foreshadow the upcoming events. And then Segment 2 sets up more events. Like we just saw Chloe. She's kind of crazy. She's fallen in love with Tom, and now she's going to go after Tom. And Segment 2 takes place 1 week after Segment 1. And I guess to point out some plot holes, you, Frank, wasn't a plot hole, but you mentioned an error that was in Segment 1 where Tom talks in that random scene, and it's not supposed to be there. That's a complete error. Yeah. There are numerous plot holes in Segment 2, and it refers to the date. I actually messed up when I was doing the scripting, and I didn't really realize it until I produced the whole thing. I'm like, oh crap, there's a huge plot hole here. Luckily, no one spotted the plot hole, which is great. It's not really noticeable, but when you really think about it, it's very noticeable, so I guess I'll just say the plot hole. It takes place, like, at the end of Segment 1, the aliens, like, Skept is his name, the smart one. Frank calls him over, and Skept goes over to walk towards him. And Segment 2 is a week later, and when we come back to the alien scene, it seems like he's just walking to Frank, asking him, like, what is this thing, even though it's a week later. And I tried covering it up by saying, oh, it's been a week, and Grapes and that French guy are still down there, yet he goes back to the question. So that's a plot hole. I guess another plot hole is where Ted's, like, I tried covering it up, where, like, Ted's like, oh, it's been a week, where's Aaron? And some people, I guess, would assume that Ted's been sitting out here for a week, but I guess that's not obviously the case. He's probably just been, he probably walked to him or something. But yeah, that's a little. Oh, in a car. A mongoose. It's just a little plot hole regarding the dates. That was my mess up, but no one noticed it, so it's not that big of an issue. But yes, it's actually a humongous gaping plot hole.
The professor's going all crazy shit too. I love that.
Yeah, and that's the first glimpse of the new character who's also introduced in this segment. At the very end, I credit him as Unknown Alien because we don't actually know his name. Because in the next segment, they started addressing him as Lobster. So in segment 2, I just credited him as Unknown Alien. And he is... I almost did a spoiler. Yeah, Lobster's an alien. He is a Covenant elite that speaks Covenant. And I don't really know if it is Covenant. Actually, it's not. It's just me going like, just saying gibberish.
Yeah.
And originally, I was going to... I did this thing back in the Halo 3 Machinima days when I made Halo 3 Machinima. And what I would do is I would talk in a normal, like, deep voice. And then I would just reverse my dialogue. So I'd be speaking backwards. And, like, that's how a lot of...
This line right here.
Oh, yeah, where Frank's like, if not, I'll make it deeper.
Yeah.
That was improv. That wasn't in the script, so bravo.
Yeah.
I love improv. I love when I love it when characters or voice actors improv. I don't expect them to, improv paragraphs, but like a great example is Jamie Zen does a great job at completely just BSing everything. And I always love it when voice actors want to go outside the box, and it's always nice because most of the stuff that everyone says that's not in the script I use. Because either it works or it adds to some certain scene, or I can take a bit of that part and put it over here, or save it for later. So I always want the voice actors to be, I guess, comfortable, and if you want to improve this line or whatnot, go for it. And we also find out that Frank has a Coke collection.
Yeah.
That Travis got a hold of. I love the fire on your head. Originally, and I think we talked about this in the segment 1 commentary, I let you pick out your entire armor for Frank, and originally he wasn't going to have fire on his head, and I really wanted to have fire on his head. I think it'd be kind of cool, and that obviously escalated towards the end of the series too. But
yeah, I was like, nah, I don't think we should. And
yeah.
Then you just like you did it anyway. I'm like, whatever, it works.
Yeah, and then I think I might have asked you like, hey, this is where I'm going with the fire. This is what Frank's gonna do. Is this cool? And
yeah, that's when I was like, okay, I can dig that. Let's do it.
Yeah. There's so much stuff coming up for Series 2. Like, Segment 2 is just building up. Segment 3, shit hits the fan. 4 is crazy. 5 is crazy. 6 is the grand finale of Series 2. It's going to be crazy, and I hope you all are anticipating the epicness. Everything just keeps rising. In this scene, we have one of our voice actors named Andre Larson was going to join us today, but he's in Sweden, and obviously that's completely on the other side of the world. Both me and Frank are in the U.S., and it's probably like, I don't know the time. Oh yeah, it's exactly 12 hours later, so right now I'm recording this on 8:42 Eastern Standard Time, so in Sweden it is currently 8:42 a.m., and Andres is probably sleeping, and he doesn't really want to voice act, but he voice acts Mort, and I really wanted to get him in this commentary because this is probably the biggest highlight for Mort in Series 2. He gets to talk a lot, he gets to be like this crackhead, drug, I guess, hippie, stoned hippie.
It's just pot.
Just pot, and I utilized like the black visor. I didn't think about this before, and I don't think this was in the script either, but yeah, he blacks out his visor and he starts freaking out. Yeah, this is just little.
Which I thought was a very interesting way to use them, because like usually people don't do that with a visor. I'm like, well, you can do something else with them.
Yeah, like so many people in Machinimas, and maybe I don't watch Machinima, specifically Halo Machinima. Do a lot of people, use the visor colors, the armor effects, stuff like that? Like, is that common, or is that like rarely used ever? Because most of the Machinimas I've seen in Halo are like Covenant versus UNSC, and of course a Spartan or a Covenant is not going to have like electricity flowing around them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen anyone, if anyone, use any of the effects. But you know, Frank has fire in his head, and at the end of segment 2, when they go down to Reach, the color of his fire changes. And what I thought was, since he's in space, there's less oxygen, so the fire is like orange, yellow, red. And when he's on Reach, there's more oxygen, and I'm pretty sure a blue flame is much hotter than an orange flame. So since there's more oxygen on Reach, his fire is like much more powerful. And then that's why he has a blue flame. But that's also because of the whole Bungie blue flames thing.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, then Mort crashes out because he's stoned, and Aaron's like, should we go pick him up? And then he's like, no, I stole my weed. There's so many potheads in this. And then here's the French guy, voiced by Tori Kamal. And there's Grapes, which is the very gullible, kind of stupid, retarded alien, but he's friendly to everybody. Oh yeah, and then here's another armor ability, the hearts. So I think
that's just because he's French.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be stereotypical, and I do. I didn't mean to. I wasn't thinking about that. I'm like, oh, I'll put hearts on them because that's kind of interesting. And I mainly put hearts on them because I didn't know this, because I thought when you have like the grand birthday party, if you die, you explode into confetti, and if you get shot wearing the hearts, you explode into hearts. I didn't know that the hearts come out of your body every so often, so I'm like, that's perfect. And I guess since he is French, that's very stereotypical that all French men are very romantic, and that's not a bad thing. I guess that'd be a compliment. And but yeah, Tori Kamal does a French accent, very awesome. Same guy who does Tom Raines. I try to get a lot of people to, if they have like a bigger vocal performance or bigger vocal range, I always want them to try new areas and voice act other people. And Tori does Tom and does the French guy, and there are similarities in the voice, but I think for the most part they're pretty ranged and diverse. So Tom finds Mort, and Mort's like, oh, I'm baked, and do you want some weed? And Tom's like, not my thing, and all that junk. And this is where Mort joins the crew. The next scene, which I think is the highlight of segment 2, is where Grapes is launched back up into space,
and then drags us back down.
Yeah, he flies up, surprises everybody. Skept accidentally activates like this shield, and behind that shield is the suction of space. So when the shield goes away, it's gonna pull you out. And Frank's like, "Pull me up before," and then you get sucked out. And you have amazing voice acting by Frank, amazing. Sucked out.
In the script, it was worded that someone was like holding my hand or like holding my arm, and I'm like, well, I'd rather that. Like, I wish there would have been a way for us to do that.
I know, yeah. I guess if I went really crazy and did like different assassinations and got different camera angles, I would have been able to make it look like that happened. But what I did was I went into custom games and I just put them on like super fast speed and super fast gravity, and both of them had the evade armor ability, and I just evaded and they just got launched forward.
Yeah.
And this scene coming up, I actually used rocket launchers, and it's probably obvious. You can probably tell that they're not actual people; they're rocket launcher shots. But it's supposed to symbolize like them, I guess.
Entering the atmosphere.
Yeah, entering the atmosphere, meteoring into Reach, and all you can see is like this bright, it's entering the atmosphere like when Chief entered the atmosphere in Halo 3. So that's how I got across it. But as you can see, they clearly look like rockets, which they obviously are. But that's just them entering the Reach atmosphere. And if you look in the outline of the shot, you can see that I'm actually way out of the map, and I'm actually breaking the game slightly. But yeah, they crash land and boom. And I love how this scene connects, because this is the first time that the space characters interact with like Tom and the gang. So like when they slam it into the ground, it causes Aaron to crash, and then a big chunk of rock is flown from the impact. And this is where Lobster makes his grand appearance. And that's the end of segment 2, where he speaks Covenant. And I made it sure that when Lobster speaks, he speaks and there's Covenant subtitles, so not even the audience knows what he's saying. So I thought that was kind of cool. I could have put subtitles, and in the actual script, it's marked as like XXXX, so not even, I don't know what he's saying, but I actually did go into like, when I did the subtitles, I went to, I actually wrote real English, and then I just put Covenant font on it. But, yeah, and then he says Lobster. That's the end of segment 2.
Woo!
Woo! So, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Segment 3, 4, 5, and 6 are coming right up, and, that's all. Thanks, Frank, for joining me.
So it's always a pleasure, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And, yeah, so that's it for segment 2. Stay tuned for segment 3, which will be airing in 2 weeks, April 5th. And a director's commentary 2 weeks later after that. So, yeah, that's it for now. Thank you all for watching. This is James of Rising Potential. Have a good one. See you all later.
Peace.
Peace.